Hi, hello, good evening, everyone. How are you? I'm giving you an update on the actual Registry of Motor Vehicles in Boston, excuse me, in Brockton. Remember, I did a video, if you recall, and you actually watched that video. There were 2,100 drivers that were not giving a driver's test. And so there were some, employees there that actually were terminated. And so I'm just going to go over this with you. But however, even the ones that scheduled, remember what I was saying to you that they were out on the road, and what if they really couldn't drive? Well, guess what? 693 failed the road test, and 838 of the 2,100 never scheduled the road test. They actually was notified, but they never scheduled the road test, and so their license was suspended. And this is dangerous because I wouldn't want to be on the road with someone that really didn't know how to drive. And so here it is. Here's the update. Hundreds of the 2,100 drivers failed to pass or had license suspended for failing to schedule a test. Now, the Registry of Motor Vehicles in Massachusetts says that 693 people have wrongly issued driver's license as part of a scandal at the Brockton branch that have since failed the required road test. An additional 838 who, despite receiving notification of the special road test requirement, have failed to take the test and have since had their license suspended. In February, two road test examiners and two service center employees at the Brockton RMV Service Center. Remember, I told you they were fired after it was discovered that 2,100 drivers had been issued driver's license without taking a road test. Now, the Massachusetts Department of Transportation, that's the MassDOT, previously said that some suspicious activity surrounding some 2020 road tests led to the probe. All drivers who were affected by the scandal were contacted and given 10 days to take the road test. Now, as a result of the internal investigation, the RMV conducted 1,074 road tests between February 14th and February 25th, the department told Boston.com. During that period, affected customers were able to call a dedicated phone line and schedule their road test, the RMV reported. Now, remember, they were not going to be charged any fees because of what had transpired with the, what do you want to call it? The unethical, you know, what's the word? Unethical, just rogue employees. Okay, so they weren't going to be recharged anything. They were just supposed to call this special dedicated line in the letter that they received, and they were supposed to schedule their road test. A lot of them didn't do it. So of the people who completed the road test, 381 customers passed the exam. Now imagine 383 passed, 693 failed, and 838 did not schedule the test. They didn't even bother to call in, didn't bother to do any of that. Now, can you imagine 2,100 people out of 381 are out that passed the road test? The rest of them were out here on the road. They're still driving. And the 693 failed. So we don't know how many of the 838 are able to pass the test because they never responded to the notification. So the RMV noted that the number of special road tests administered for February 14th through the 25th does not include the 60 customers who opted to surrender their license in exchange for a learner's permit and or Massachusetts identification card. Upon receiving notification of the special road test requirement, these customers either said that they did not intend to take the test, or they needed extra time due to extenuating circumstances. Now, some of them, look, they just opted to just say, you know what, I'm not even going to try. I just want to learner's permit because I need to learn how to drive and get better before I go take that test. And that's understandable. Some people just don't catch on. Maybe they're, just not understanding, so that happens. I mean, and even if you've been driving, sometimes thinking, sometimes people that's been driving a while can fail a test as well. It's not necessarily that you don't know how to drive, but if you are not prepared and you don't study and you're not prepared for the updates, because when you go to driver school, say you get a ticket and have to go to traffic school, driver school, traffic school, and you might not understand that there are some new laws that have passed, and I see people. I'll give you an example. When emergency responder vehicles, when usually we pull over for them, right? But if they're on the opposite side of the street and there's like a barrier in the street, you don't have to pull over if you're going in the opposite direction. So if they're traveling north and you're traveling south, they're traveling north and there's some barriers, maybe with some plants in the middle of the, center divider, you don't have to pull over. And I see people doing that. Now, if they're traveling, going in the same direction you're going in, of course you have to pull over and let them go as a courtesy. I also see people not stopping for the school buses when they pull their sign out to stop. You are to stop. So there are some people that just don't know the rules of the road. And that's just a couple of examples. You might have more that I'd like you to leave your respectful comment, you know, under the video. But for 75 customers who were required to take a motorcycle road test would have had their motorcycle endorsement removed from their license pending a road test. Some of these customers came to an agreement with RMV to wait for better weather and road conditions before taking the test. The 838 who failed to take the test and have since had their license suspended. Okay. So the RMV reported that as of April 5th, an additional 93 people have passed a Class D road test to operate a motor vehicle, and one driver had taken and passed the Class M road test to operate a motorcycle. So leave your comments below. These people that's out here on the road that should not be driving because they did not go through the proper, proper protocol and procedures need to go ahead and stop driving. And some of them might still be driving on a suspended license, but I hope that they do not get caught. So, leave your comments below. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. And I appreciate each and every one of you. Share the video, like the video, and subscribe to the channel if you are not a subscriber. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful evening.